What's up, guys? It's your boy Talton Robertson back at it again. And today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how to fulfill an order on TCGPlayer. So I'm going to be talking about how to ship your cards properly so that they get to the customer without any sort of damage, and how to do this using plain white envelopes. Essentially, I'm going to walk you through that process and let you see firsthand how it's done. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. All right, guys, Talton Robertson here, and we are now in my desktop. And so we can see here on the screen, we have TCGPlayer.com pulled up. And so TCGPlayer is essentially a website for trading cards and trading card games. You can see here the big ones: Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Lorcana, One Piece. There's a couple others, but those I would say are some of the bigger trading card games out there, where essentially these companies, they produce trading cards. I know everyone's heard of Pokemon. I know I've spoke about it before on this channel, so I am a huge fan of Pokemon. And I grew up watching, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon. I never really got into Magic, but I have recently looked into Disney Lorcana. That is something new. So, anyways, this platform allows you to buy and sell trading cards. And so, if you're not familiar with TCGPlayer, like, we can just go here to Pokemon and let's just, I don't know, shop all. And you can just see there's some different cards here. Prices all over. But let's say we're looking for maybe a Charizard. Let's just search Charizard. Everybody loves Charizard. Yeah, and so you can see, $52 here. That's a $3 card, $4 card. They tell you what the lowest price is. They also tell you what the market price is, and it's pretty cool. So if, like, we click on this one, you can actually see the graph, and now they actually tell you how many items sold that for that price. And so it's a good way to have your data with the marketplace. Essentially, you know what cards are worth money, how often they're selling. It's very similar to Amazon. I know I speak a lot about Amazon, but I wanted to talk about TCGPlayer because I have been selling on TCGPlayer, and I kind of like it. It's all right. But I want to share some of the stuff that I learned, and if you guys, if you are selling trading cards, or if you are looking for another avenue to jump into, this is another one that you could potentially get into. And there's a lot of money in it. I mean, we're talking $90 for a damaged piece of cardboard here. So, and when you really think about it, that's kind of crazy. Especially if you're able to pick these up. I know a lot of people know the price of Pokemon nowadays because of TCGPlayer. But you can always find stuff at Goodwills or thrift stores alike, and make a lot of money. I have seen multiple videos floating across the internet where people are buying Pokemon stupid cheap and making tons of money. And then there's a lot of videos where you have people that are very knowledgeable. They sell their cards, in bulk at like 80%, and you have to buy it, and then you'll make the difference if you have a good system for selling. But we're not going into all of that. I'm kind of rambling a little bit. So now that we're in TCGPlayer, I just kind of wanted to show what TCGPlayer is all about. Now, you can be a buyer, this is the buying site. If I wanted to buy, I could add to cart and buy it. Now, if I go over here to my seller dashboard, this is what it looks like if you're a seller. And so I am a seller for TCGPlayers. You can see here that I have an order. And so this is what I'm going to be sharing with you guys. So I'm going to click this order. I'm going to make sure that you can't see all of this. But if I click here on the order number, we have a shipping address, and we have this. So the first thing you're going to want to do is print your packing slip. So I always do alphabetical: print packing slip, and save, and boom. We have the packing slip, and I am going to print this. Print. Alright, guys, this is the packing slip.
And so I'm not going to try to give out the customer's information, but they ordered a Pokemon Dragon Gyarados 32, number 97, uncommon, lightly played for $3.04.
All right, guys. So we now know that I need to find this Gyarados from the Dragon set. And so before we try to find that, could you imagine having 20,000 cards and not knowing where it is? Well, I've got about 20,000 cards listed and I know exactly where it is. And I've got a system for that. And so if you're needing help systematizing how you sort stuff, you can use my example. So, first things first, this right here is what we call a 4-row box. They also make 5-row boxes. Now you can see back here on my shelf, I've got 4-row boxes and they're stacked up 3 high. Now I like that system because I can stack these in my shelf. So that's why I use 4-row. A lot of people prefer 5-row. My personal opinion is the 4-row. And so if you want 4-row boxes or 5-row boxes, I'm going to leave a link in the description. Also, once I take this lid off, I'll let you see. We've got all of these different sets labeled. So what I did here is I took, these are called semi-rigid sleeves. And so I took all of these and I labeled them using my Dymo printer. And so now I've got all this sets labeled. So I'm going to show you exactly how I find the Gyarados. All right, so we're looking for Pokemon and we're looking for Dragon. So let's find Dragon. Dragon would be labeled probably somewhere up here. I'm not exactly sure. There's Dragon Frontiers, Black and White, Plasma Blast. So I think Dragon, let's see. Where is Dragon? Did I pass it? Ruby, Sapphire, Aquapolis, and Dragon. Yep, I did. So there's Dragon. So it's an earlier set, and I've got these in order from basically the beginning of Pokemon and then going through the timeline. And so Dragon's right here. So if we find our Dragon tab, then we can look through these cards. We got a Bagon and then another Bagon. And so I actually have them organized. There's the Gyarados. These are organized by alphabetical order. And so there's the G. And let's just verify this is number 32 out of 97. Beautiful card. Great condition. Lightly played. So now let's get this packaged up. Now we've got the Gyarados. We've picked it out of our box. We found it. That was a breeze. It did take me a little second to find that set, but not all the sets are that difficult to find. With the earlier sets, they can be a little more difficult, but if you know the sets pretty well, it's not really that bad. I'm just not super familiar with that era. But now you need your shipping supplies. So before I show you how I ship it, let's talk about the supplies we need. So the first thing you're going to want to get are sleeves, penny sleeves. So that's what this is. If I open this up and show you, it's just a clear piece of plastic. This is to protect the card. So we're going to take the card here and we're going to slip it into the penny sleeve, just like that. So now we have our card protected. Now, what else do we need? Well, the penny sleeve is good. That helps protect the card, but you can still bend this. This could still be damaged. So we need a rigid protector. So what I recommend is top loaders. These are 3-inch by 4-inch top loaders. And so you're going to take your card and slip it in the top loader. Just like that. and give it a couple taps. Now it's secure in the top loader. But if you send this in the mail, it's still a possibility that it could come out. Now it's not super likely, but it can happen if your top loader is a little loose. So to further protect this card, we need what's called a team bag. So this is, if you've sold on Amazon, this is very similar to a poly bag. But they make them especially for cards. And so these are the ones that I've been using, the Ultra Pro team bags, come in packs of 100. So you just take your card, slip it in there, and you fold it over, and you remove your adhesive strip, just like that. And you just make sure you stick it nice and tight, and boom. So now we've got a card protected in a penny sleeve that is then put into a top loader that is then kept sealed in the top loader by the team bag. And so now this card is not really going to get damaged unless you do something that's terrible for the card. This is a very well protected card, and you can send this in the mail just like this. And this is how I prefer to actually receive my cards. So if I buy something in the mail, I actually prefer when they come in this. There are other things that you can use, but by far this is my favorite. It's just so convenient. You just rip the plastic open, pull the card out, look at it, inspect it, do what you want with it. It's done. So now that we have this fully packaged, we need to put it in our container, our shipping container. This would be a plain white envelope. Now, when you go to buy plain white envelopes, I'm going to recommend the ones that have this adhesive strip right here, where you don't have to lick it. You just pull the strip and stick it. So there's the strip. And then I also prefer, you can see here, it's lined with this blue ink. That's so you can't see through it. Yeah, you can't see through that. So you don't want anyone to be able to tell that you're selling Pokemon cards. If you can see the card through the envelope, that's bad. Someone that works at the post office could snatch it or anything like that. Not to say that anyone would, but it's a possibility, and you just want to be safe and rather be sorry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of paper, which is my my packing slip, and I'm going to fold it over. And I like to put it underneath the line where the shipping address is. Now, I know that there's other videos out here that tell you to do it a different way, but I literally just fold it till this line where, you can see. And then from there, you just fold it back over. And so it's pretty much equally in thirds. Just like you would fold any piece of paper to stick in an envelope. And so that's how I do it. And then I take my Pokemon card, stick it in here, and close it. And when I close it, card in the envelope here, you can see it's rigid from where the card's in. I want to stick it right in this envelope, and then remove the seal, the paper. There it is. Nice. Love that. And then seal it. Alright, so we have a sealed envelope, but now we need to prepare it for shipping. Alright, so I am now on the Dymo label app. So if you have a Dymo, this is great. If not, what you can do is you can just write your addresses directly on the envelope. So I've got this address here. We're going to print this one, and my Dymo prints it up. And then I'm going to grab the other address and then paste this in here. So now I've got that address in there, and I'm going to print that one. And so now I have both addresses, the return address and the send to address. Alright, we've got our plain white envelope. Pokemon card and packing slip are both inside. Now we just need to apply labels and postage. And so we're going to take our send or our from label, and that's going to go in the top left corner. So let me just do this on camera so you guys can see. Top left corner, this one right here. And boom. We got our label on there. And so now we know this is where it's coming from. Then we're going to take our sending to label, and that's going to go directly in the center of that package right there. And so now where it's from, where it's going, and then up here at the top right, we need postage. So I get my stamps from the post office, forever stamps, with a package this weight. I only need one stamp. And that's it. You have officially shipped your first order through TCGPlayer. The only thing you have left to do at this point is to go back to your order and click ship without tracking. And so that's it. That's everything. Once you click ship without tracking, it's done. And all you got to do is drop it off at the post office. And that is how you can sell a card or more, multiple, as much as you want through TCGPlayer. I hope this video was helpful, and if you don't mind hitting the like and subscribe button, that will really help my channel out so I can get great content to all of you guys. Alright, see you next time.